The UFC 322 card is stacked, but is there still disappointment? ESPN Brett Okamoto, a veteran MMA and boxing reporter for ESPN since 2010, has chronicled the sport's biggest events for over a decade, including deep dives into legends like Dana White, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Conor McGregor, and Floyd Mayweather. He also co-produced the 30 for 30 film Chuck and Tito, which explored the rivalry between Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. Now based in Las Vegas, he's a golf enthusiast who occasionally plays below average. From Washington, D.C., where the UFC plans its summer event, www.espn.com/MMA, story ID 4610519, CEO Dana White announced 3 fights that will crown UFC 322 at New York's Madison Square Garden on November 15th. www.espn.com/MMA story. 5 reigning champions will face off in these 3 bouts. Zhang Weili, the strawweight champion, is stepping down to compete in women's flyweight, aiming to challenge Valentina Shevchenko, the current women's title holder, in the co-main event. Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev, who vacated his lightweight belt earlier this year, faces Jack Della Maddalena in a high-stakes welterweight showdown. The UFC also includes Leon Edwards, a former welterweight champion, who will square off against Carlos Prates, a fighter who has knocked out 11 of his past 12 opponents. While the card appears to be set up for a Madison Square Garden spectacle, many are wondering if it still delivers the Superfight promise fans initially anticipated. Let's explore the details and ask some questions about this event. Is this 3-fight lineup better than Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall at MSG? No, not even close. While these matches are elite, Jones versus Aspinall would have been a historic clash featuring A-list fighters from around the world. Jones' legacy and bank were already secure, so the risk of fighting Aspinall was a business move, though it sparked backlash. The UFC's decision to keep the fight going instead of retiring early highlights the tension between legacy and momentum. The card itself is a standout, but the lack of a Jones versus Aspinall matchup leaves many questioning the value of the event. Why would the UFC prioritize a stacked lineup over a historic clash? It's a debate that continues to spark discussion. Should champions vacate their belts to move up in weight classes? This is a contentious issue. Proponents argue it keeps divisions competitive, while critics say it's a financial burden. If Makhachev stays the undisputed lightweight champ, it would be a logical step, but the UFC's current plan may not align with that vision. Who are the favorites in the main event? Shevchenko and Della Maddalena are both top-tier fighters, but Zhang Weili seems to have a slight edge. She's 36, less physically worn down than Shevchenko, and has shown resilience in recent battles. However, Shevchenko's experience and adaptability could give her a strong edge over Zhang in the ring. This is a battle of skill and strategy. Makhachev's grappling prowess and size advantage may tip the scales, but the fight is far from the guaranteed victory. The outcome remains uncertain, and the excitement of the event is what makes it so compelling. In conclusion, the UFC 322 card is a mix of brilliance and controversy. Whether it lives up to expectations depends on how fans perceive the choices made, and whether they're willing to embrace the unpredictability of the sport.